Okay, grab your field journals and let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to look at the world around us through a completely new lens. So, if you've just entered middle school, you might be looking at this big new subject on your schedule called science and kind of wondering what it's all about. Well, I'm here to tell you that science isn't just a class you take. It is literally the ultimate adventure. It's like an everyday detective story. And guess what? You are the lead investigator. We are going to explore our surroundings, figure out this beautiful world we live in, and uncover some seriously amazing mysteries.
To get us started, I want you to think back. Have you ever just looked up on a super clear night, seen those millions of tiny lights, and genuinely wondered, why do stars shine in the night sky? I mean, it's a massive cosmic question. It's the kind of question that makes you feel a bit tiny, sure, but it also makes your brain completely buzz with possibilities. And you know what? This is exactly where the journey of science begins, just starting out with a simple, grand question.
But science isn't just about the massive, faraway stuff up in space. Think about a beautiful, earthly question right down here in your own habitat. Like, how does a flower actually know when to open? You might walk past a blooming flower every single morning on your way to school and never really give it a second thought. But the very moment you stop and ask how or why, boom, you are thinking like a scientist. Science covers absolutely everything, all the way from the vast, stretching universe down to the tiny, beautiful, everyday moments right in your own backyard.
All right, Section 1. What is science anyway? Let's clear this up.
So there's this really common myth floating around that science is just, memorizing giant lists of facts, complex figures, and weird names from some heavy textbook. I want to completely dispel that myth right now. Science is a way of thinking, observing, and doing things to understand the world we live in and to uncover the secrets of the universe. Think of it as an action verb. We ask questions, we go out and explore the world, and we try to understand how things actually work. And to do all of that, you really only need one primary tool. You don't need a fancy laboratory to start. The absolute most important thing you need is curiosity. If you're curious, you're already halfway there.
And honestly, just look at how wide that curiosity can stretch. You could be observing the colorful, mysterious depths of the ocean teeming with life, or you could be tracking the massive, swirling vastness of a galaxy out in space. Whether you're out in the field studying tiny grains of sand or massive mountains, a single leaf of grass, or a vast forest, there is always something new and exciting to discover. Some of the most groundbreaking discoveries ever made have come from the most unexpected places, ranging all the way from the deep sea to deep space.
Moving on to Section 2, the giant jigsaw puzzle and how we fit it all together.
I absolutely love this quote from our source material. It says, "Science is like a giant and unending jigsaw puzzle." Just imagine the biggest puzzle you've ever seen in your life, but it has no edge pieces. Every single time a scientist makes a new discovery, or even when you figure out how something works yourself, we are simply adding another piece to this massive puzzle of human knowledge. And the very best thing about this puzzle, there's literally no limit to what we can discover. Every new piece of knowledge just leads to more questions.
But here's a super crucial reminder. Sometimes puzzle pieces actually have to be moved, because science is always growing, kind of like a living ecosystem. Sometimes we find out that a piece of this puzzle was actually put in the wrong place. We learn something brand new that changes our understanding of the world, and we have to shift our old ideas around. And you know what? That isn't a failure. That is exactly how science is supposed to work. It is perfectly okay to change your mind when you get new, better information.
Section 3. The scientific method. This is our step-by-step process.
Okay, to really understand the scientific method, let's bring the scale way, way down from galaxies and oceans to an everyday problem you might have while sitting right at your school desk. Imagine you're taking notes and suddenly, nothing. It just stops. You ask yourself, why did my pen stop writing? This right here is the perfect starting point for our everyday detective work.
So, you're not just staring at the pen hoping it magically works, right? You're investigating in the field. First, you ask the question, why did it stop? Next, you make a guess. You might guess, well, the ink is probably finished. Then you test that guess by opening the pen and checking the refill. If it's empty, boom, your guess was right on the money. But suppose you check and there's still plenty of ink in there. Now what? You don't just give up. You make another guess. Maybe the ink dried up at the tip. Then you test that new guess by scribbling on a scrap piece of paper. You're actively solving a problem.
The way you just tried to find out why your pen stopped, that is a perfect example of the scientific method in action. Let's formally map it out really quick. Step 1. We observe something interesting, or something we don't understand, like the pen stopped. Step 2, we guess a possible answer to that question. The ink is gone. Step 3, we test this guess through experiments or observations. We open up the pen. And step 4, we analyze the results to see if it actually answers our question. We look at the ink tube. See? It's a highly logical, step-by-step process that literally anyone can follow.
Section 4. Science in Everyday Life. Because, spoiler alert, science is everywhere.
Think about a bicycle mechanic trying to figure out why a tire is flat. Where did the air leak out? They pump it up, they listen closely for a hiss, or maybe they put the tube in water to look for bubbles. Guess what? That's guessing and testing. Or think about someone cooking food, wondering why the dal spilled out of the cooker. Was there way too much water? Was the heat too high? Even an electrician figuring out why a light bulb isn't turning on is following these exact same steps.
So, the crucial takeaway here is this. When we ask questions and try to find answers using that step-by-step logic, we are all, in a way, scientists. Whether you realize it or not, you apply the scientific method every single day. You are already a scientist. You just need to realize it and start using those skills on purpose to learn even more about your world.
Think about noticing the water cycle right in your own neighborhood. Have you ever jumped in a puddle right after it rained, or noticed how water freezes into solid ice in the winter and boils into steam on the stove? Thinking about how hot and cold affect water, that is scientific observation. Or just look at the stuff right inside your pencil case. A metal key, a plastic ruler, a rubber eraser. What are they actually made of? How do we separate different materials? Categorizing things and observing the properties of everyday objects is exactly what scientists do in laboratories. You're just applying it to your everyday surroundings.
Section 5. Keep asking why. Stay curious.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to focus on the mindset you should carry forward with you. Remember that much like playing out in the rain, science is all about joyful exploration. It shouldn't feel like a chore. Enjoy your scientific journey out there in the field. Keep exploring, keep turning over rocks, keep looking up at the sky, and never ever stop wondering about the amazing mysteries of the universe and asking questions. Which leaves us with one final, very important question for you today. Are you ready to embark upon the exciting journey of science? Our source text puts it perfectly. It says, after all, to be a wise person, you must be a wise person. Someone who constantly asks WHY. So take all that curiosity, look around your home, your classroom, or your neighborhood today, and start your very own everyday detective work. Let's get out there and get started.